what can you share more about your experience working as a PPC specialist? So basically, let me know like your whole process on how you do your thing, what are your main responsibilities, and what attracted you to this type of work.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so I actually started my career way back in 2020. So at the time, I was actually in the media. I was working as a TV writer, researcher. But I believe around late 2020 or 2021, that's when I really started doing advertising. So I was with a local ad agency. So there I was, my training started there, working on Google Ads and Meta Ads. So my main focus there was I was focused on copywriting and creative strategy, and also a bit of setting up the campaigns, right? Yeah, so over the years, I was able to work with different clients, both local and international. And I think some of the client highlights that I have was able to work with Lazada, with Quaker Oats as well. So some of the top companies that I was able to work with, although on a contract basis, I was not with them on full time since I was a freelancer. Well, still even up to now, I'm still a freelancer, right? And on the latest, currently I am a head of marketing and head of growth marketing for JD Curated Group, which is a small e-commerce group that I co-founded way back in 2022. So there, I am also working on different brands, micro brands, where I handle all of the PPC campaigns, all of the media buying and creative strategies. And so far, we're able um, to really get into eight-figure lifetime sales for the past 17 months. And yeah, it's been incredible results for us. But the main niche for that is B2C, or direct to consumer companies, or micro brands. So majority of the data that we have are very customer driven and not into B2B side. So yeah. And also on the latest PPC campaigns that I've been really working on and have been, been really spending a lot of time is with Drink Aid Singapore. So it's a supplement company based in Singapore. And basically what I do there is on a daily basis, I handle all of the advertising campaigns, both for Google Ads and for Meta Ads. But I would still say that my strongest would be Meta Ads, since that's really what I've been really building and I've specialized with. And yeah, it's been pretty good. We are able to do a ROAS, or return on ad spend, of about 2x to 6x on a month over month basis. So yeah, very incredible results and leading those campaigns for DrinkAid. And yeah, so majority of my time right now goes to leading those campaigns. And I in terms of the thought process of PPC campaigns, I think it will always start with I would often do a lot of market research. So I would follow trends, especially on Twitter. There are a lot of good materials that we can get from Twitter, especially from other creators. Also, of course, Facebook ad library. I would often get ad creatives and ideas and inspirations from Facebook ad library. So yeah, pretty much that's for my experience. It's also nice that you mentioned that the target revenue is about 20 K USD from a 15K ad spend over 3 months. So yeah, I think it's pretty much achievable. It's actually within the baseline of the campaigns that I've been handling, especially with Drinkade. That's a very similar revenue range for Drinkade as well.
All right, sounds great. Yeah. It's it's a minimum, so it's basically just I think you get
It's like a
what the
baseline.
point is.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's a
yeah, I think
baseline.
that's sounds good.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, talking about the guarantee. So I just wanted to get more specific there. Could you describe like a situation and within your like past projects where you also had to meet like a specific revenue target, um and what specific strategies did you implement to make sure you consistently hit those targets?
Hmm. Yeah, so I would like to use Drinkade Singapore and with JD Created Group as some of my case studies. So In the past years, what has been working for us, especially for meta ads, is just doing a one creative strategy. So meaning you're just going to implement a winning ad creative and that you're going to scale it, right? So in the past years, it's been performing very well, about 4x ROAS, 3.5 to 4x ROAS. So that's a pretty good one for e-commerce. Um, but something that I was able to realize, and when looking at our numbers, I realized that um it's slowly losing competitive advantage, and it's losing its well, the quote unquote winning side of it, right? So one of the fix that I had to do was to make sure that all right, so the world is changing and the algorithm of Meta and Google is pretty much changing. So we have to change up our strategy. And a good strategy that I was able to really lead and implement is by creating more creative strategies and publishing more creatives on a weekly basis. So instead of just working about 1 to 2 creatives on a weekly basis. What we were doing is 5 to 10 creatives now. Since with Meta's algorithm now, it's really a numbers game. So the more creatives that you have, the more that you get to train the algorithm of Meta and Google, right? And especially we also focus on better copywriting. Gone are the days that people would just buy and would just purchase products with bad copywriting, with bad design. Now it's really very competitive now, right? So that is some of the fixes that I was able to do and really implement for the clients that I was able to work with in the past years. And it has been so far working. We were able to increase the ROAS. So before that ad was performing at about 0.67 to 0.85 ROAS, but now it's now performing at I just checked earlier, it's about 1.88x, and the other one is 2.55x ROAS for those two campaigns that I switched right from just few creatives to churning out more creatives. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great. I'd like to mention though that the client's ROAS target mentioned is 4x. So
Forex.
yeah,
May
yeah.
I ask what niche is this again?
Um, so they only mentioned that their clients that they are handling are e-commerce clients, but they didn't specifically mention what type of e-commerce clients.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
part of yeah.
yeah, sounds good. So actually, those 2x that I mentioned are incremental conversion. So meaning, I think when you say 4x, that's what they meant by that was including the unincremental sales, so sales that could be coming from repurchases, retargets. So I think even same for Drink Aid, if we kind of combine both the incremental and incremental targets, it's also within the range of 4x to
Mm,
6x on the usual. So I think it would fall in the same baseline.
sounds
Yeah.
great.
So
Yeah,
yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
yeah. Thanks for explaining that because I'm not a marketing expert, so it's
Mm,
yeah, it's a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah. A third question. So yeah, they mentioned that you would be handling or the hire would be handling at least three simultaneous clients. So yeah, just tell me about a time where when you manage like multiple campaigns at a time and how you made sure you hit all of the campaigns targets consistently.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. So, well, with JD Creative Group, since we're handling different brands, right? So, um, it's a different niche. So there's menswear, there's health supplements. So also, I was also working with Drink Aid Singapore, which is um kind of bit demographics, although it's also within the health supplement side of it. Um, but one of the things that I did and implemented to make sure that we're getting those targets is making sure that one, we do daily and weekly audit. So we need to audit the ad accounts, both for Meta and Google, right? Just to make sure that our numbers are always doing well. We're addressing all of the issues. For instance, there was a time 2 weeks ago in February, there was a Meta shutdown and the ads weren't performing good. Like I was charged about, I believe, $1,000 just to get two purchases. So definitely there was a problem with Meta. So I was doing, because I was monitoring it, we were able to get a refund for $900 from Meta, because it's actually their fault that we weren't able to convert those into purchases, right? So we were also implementing cost caps as well at $40, so it would be seem impossible to get sales, just getting two purchases with $1,000 budget or $1,000 ad spend, right? So those are some of the things that I've been doing. So monitoring it, so you make sure that nothing unusual is happening, that everything's just doing good. So after those audit, of course, you also do retargets. So we retarget other past clients, past customers, people that are more likely to purchase, or are already in the middle of the funnel. So we also look at the data, the emails, we look at the customer insights from Facebook and other third-party platforms, right? So yeah, and making sure that we generate and we hit all of our revenue targets. So of course, aside from doing the audits, is you also make sure that you're implementing really good creative strategies and design, right? So as I said earlier, gone are the days that people will buy something even though there's a bad design or shitty design or ad creative, right? So I also need to work hand in hand with the creative team to make sure that we're churning out the best of the best creatives, and that we're also monitoring our competitors as well. So I really believe that at this point of at this point in time in 2025, it's really a battle of the best creatives. And the more creatives that you have, the more uh, the more sales that you get. So those are some of the SOP and the steps that I would usually take in terms of making sure that we're hitting the targets. And so far, so good. I'm able to really see it with the results that doing that process, very simple process of following it, would really help a lot and would really make sure that we're getting our targets.
Yeah, this makes sense, and that's really insightful. I mean, like even for me as
Hmm.
someone who's not really into marketing, the shift, yeah, just to add a little bit there, I think the
It's
shift
really different,
there,
right?
yeah, yeah, it's like because especially with the new generation joining the workforce, joining the like purchasing part of the world, the shift where like gone are like you said, gone are the days where the shitty design just
Hmm.
goes through and makes sense. Now it's like a competitive, like it's been more competitive, especially that people are like online, like
Yeah,
in
that's
an
that's real.
unhealthy amount of time. So yeah, people are just there to like criticize, like not in a bad way, but it moves the needle for innovation and improvement.
Yeah, and I
But
think it's also crazy, like with algorithm of Meta, and it's just so crazy. Like it's just so good. Like it already knows if it's a bad creative, it won't show it to people, but it would also know that it's a good creative, and it would show it to many people or more people, and it would actually spend more. So yeah, it's really a different landscape now than advertising in
interesting.
2016, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting, interesting. Yeah.